This is an interesting topic. We're talking about family responsibility, aka black tax, and how that affects your taxes. Now, I know that we think we're doing a great thing, therefore we shouldn't be taxed, but unfortunately, legislatively, we are going to be taxed simply because this family responsibility is not necessarily recognized legislatively. So when you look at it legislatively, it essentially translates to you giving a gift, and a gift is then donations. And we've made a video about donations. That's donations tax. Then you don't need to pay donations tax. However, if you are going to be donating to your if you're actually going to be giving your black tax, it does attract to 20%. So that's black tax. What do we do about it? The tagline for this is don't help, empower. I know it sounds weird, but legislatively, if you want it to be a tax benefit to yourself, and if you want it to be something that can actually work out for the person who's receiving that donation, in the long run, then you want to empower. And the way that you're going to empower is that you can either help them set up the cash generating business. You can rather invest that into maybe some sort of property if you have that amount. If not, then you want to look for more cash generating opportunities, get an Uber for them or something like that that will give them the equivalent but in a different vehicle. You want to essentially get them to own some form of business. When you do that, they can invoice you, and then you can essentially give them the amount where it actually becomes a tax deduction for you if you're doing this from your business, or if you're doing this from your sole proprietorship, you can reduce your taxes in that way. It becomes a tax benefit to you, it becomes a better vehicle for them, the tax rates are probably going to be a lot lower, and you've also set them up with something that has some form of legacy. Now, this happens a lot when we're dealing with older generation people, so you're looking at aunts, aunties, grandmothers, and so forth. And again, maybe you want to set them up with something that can be a little bit more hands-off, but you do want to find something more in the business space. Again, if you want to have something like a rental property or something like that that can generate some form of income, and you can have someone else manage that. I understand that a lot of the things that I'm talking about right now might not be attainable. If we have a consultation, we can maybe find something for you that can fit you and suit you in a way that actually matches with the budget that you might have right now. But as it stands, if you're sending anything over 10,000 Rand, either you're paying the 20% or SARS can impose the 20% tax rate on the donee's amount that they have received. I do hope for a more inclusive amendment to come about. We are having things like wealth tax that's coming about, that SARS is looking to, which is to tax the wealthy. And I do hope that something more inclusive comes about where we take into consideration our social context, that this is a very real reality for people, and maybe there should be some concessions made around this or some considerations around this topic of black tax. How do we treat it? How do we move forward with it? Currently, I don't have the answers. Legislatively, my hands are tied and I'm giving you what I have. We do not really discuss as accountants. It does come up a lot in financial planning, but when it comes to estate duty tax, when a deceased has passed on, how to protect your family in terms of that. We don't talk about what happens in the African context of relatives coming and grabbing, or just what do you do when you're grieving and you're mourning and there's all this admin around. Who administers the estate, whatever it may be, whether it's 10 Rand, whether it's 20 million Rand, who administers this? We don't have enough conversations around it, I think. And I'm hoping to do some more conversational work around this. But if you have any thoughts that you'd love to share, please feel free to leave them in the comments.